What's up everyone, my name is Alpha and today we're back with another Pokemon challenge video. Today we're on Pokemon Omega Ruby. No we're not. Today we're on Alpha Sapphire and today's challenge will be can I beat Pokemon Alpha Sapphire Hardcore Nuzlocke in a complete randomizer shiny only run. So our entire game is randomized to about almost basically everything. Unfortunately I forgot about the few items, but the Pokemon, the wild Pokemon are randomized, the gift Pokemon, the trade Pokemon, the trainers Pokemon are randomized. Even the levels aren't randomized, they were actually scaled up by 1.3, so that's actually an immensely different change. So the game is completely different. It's basically a ROM hack that I created, and essentially we're gonna try to beat this in a hardcore Nuzlocke without looking at the dump logs. So everything's gonna be completely new to me. I don't know what's coming up the next episode. Obviously I do know the levels because you just 1.3 times the highest level cap. So essentially it's gonna be a Nuzlocke still. I can only catch one Pokemon per route, obviously, and if my Pokemon ever faints, they are done, they are dead. There's gonna be a level cap. It's gonna be the highest level in each gym, which is 1.3 times the normal amount, and as well you have to play on set mode. And also the Pokemon are randomized, so if I don't have anything good, that's tough for me. So I have to wait until the good items just randomize in. I think each gym badge changed the Pokemon, so that's gonna be pretty interesting. Did I miss anything? No items inside a battle. That should be it. So it's gonna be an interesting challenge. One good thing about the challenge is that each of my Pokemon will be nicknamed after you guys in the comments, and we do have a lot of Pokemon that we use in this challenge. So thank you so much for leaving a comment in my previous challenge video. If you guys want to be nicknamed after your future Pokemon, just drop it in the comments and hopefully I'll pick yours. And while it's down there, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me. Anyways, let's get into the challenge video itself. So obviously you can see in the background that the first time I did this, they were not randomized and I got a Trico, so I gotta restart that. That was not a good attempt. So the second time we randomized completely and correctly. So our starter Pokemon can be an Aselgor, which is interesting. Aselgor is cool and all. A Sock or I decided to look at all three of them's moveset. And surprisingly, even though I'm the biggest hater of Meganium, I think Meganium's the best Pokemon for a starter Pokemon just because it's tanky and is good just to have a tanky Pokemon to have, especially in a blind Nuzlocke. So we gotta be careful with that. We're gonna use Meganium, and we found ourselves a shiny Meganium pretty early because it's just a rapid A spam. So it's just quick resets, and we finally get ourselves a shiny Meganium, which is nice. From there, we can move out into Route 3, and surprisingly, or Route 103, and we found ourselves a Hoopa, and I'm like, that's good to keep in mind. We're going to be right back in this route in a little bit. So we're going to beat our rival. Fortunately, I forgot to randomize the trainers at this point, so I had to re-dump my ROM and then re-randomize everything, so that was awkward. But from there, we can start shiny hunting in Route 103 after getting Pokeballs, and we want to get a Hoopa in here, which Hoopa seems like is a pretty high encounter rate. There's Duskulls too, and unfortunately, we don't get a Hoopa. We actually get a shiny Snivy, which I'm like, okay, it's not the best thing. I had two shiny grass starters as my first two Pokemon, so let's remedy that by going into Route 102. This is the route where normally you get routes and everything, so we're just gonna start shiny hunting. Seems like Florges is the biggest Pokemon or the most common Pokemon here, and lucky enough we didn't get it, so it wasn't boring. We actually got ourselves a shiny Politoed, which we didn't find too much of in the wild, so that's actually seems like a pretty rare encounter. So we're gonna catch ourselves a shiny Politoed, add it to our team. That means we have a water type moving forwards, which is nice. And from there we can move out all the way past into this bridge where these two little kids are gonna give us a double battle fight, and one of the Pokemon is a Mega Garchomp. Yeah, they give up this Mega straight up, just not even Pokemons with Mega Stone, Mega forms, which is crazy. So we're able to beat the trainer at least since it's just early on in the game, but we have so much XP that we gotta be very careful. From there, we're going to move out into Route 105 or 106. I forgot. I think 105. But it's right outside of Rustboro City. We're going to shiny hunt out here for our next Pokemon, which is going to be a shiny Houndour. Okay. I don't think I've used Houndoom in a long time, so I don't mind. We just want to fill up our team as much as we can right now. We also go back into Petalburg Woods, which we found ourselves a shiny Duocean, which I was pretty certain this thing was not going to last at all because I've never used Duoceans like that. From there, we have 5 Pokemon. I thought I needed a bigger team because I did put on high scaling for all my gym leaders or important battles, but unfortunately it didn't work. I just stacked my team against the first gym leader, so we're gonna face off against Roxanne. She only has 2 Pokemon, which now I look like a fool, but anyways, I'm gonna start the battle off against her Bonsly using my Politoed, which is cool that she still has a rock Pokemon. I go for a Bubble Beam against her Bonsly, which she goes for a Stone Edge. I was like, what world were we living in? We killed a Bonsly, and then her randomized team got Bonsly and Sudowoodo somehow. And I don't know what the odds of that. I'm able to Bubble Beam into the Sudowoodo as well, as it turns into a grass type and then Diamond Storm me. whatever happened here is going crazy. But eventually we're able to knock out the Sudowoodo. We're able to get ourselves the first gym badge in the game, which is very nice. And now the level cap jumps up greatly as we move out into Granite Cave, and our next Pokemon will be a shiny Weavile, which is interesting, at least. We're gonna definitely add that to our team. We have Ultra Ball since the Pokemon had it, so you know we'll take that for sure. And then from there we can go out and face off against Brawly, the second gym leader in the game. We're gonna start the battle off against Brawly using my starter Pokemon Meganium. Meganium, as I said, is pretty tanky, so we're gonna take a bunch of hits from his Mega Gallade. So we face off against Brawly, and Brawly has a fighting type Pokemon too. So I was like, what? It's everyone just gonna have their typing? This is all by coincidence and luck. But we have to Poison Powder into the Gallade as it has Side Shock as the only move it wants to use. I made the Synthesis up and then get my HP back up while it's going down to the Poison Powder. And eventually I'm able to knock him out with a Razor Leaf, and his final Pokemon will be a Barbroach, which things are looking pretty good for us as we're able to knock out the Barbroach. We're able to beat down Brawly and get Magical Leaf, so that's amazing. We also get the second gym badge, you know, kind of important. From there, we head into Slateport City, where we're gonna go into the flea market over here, or the swamp market, and we have to find a bunch of new items. We found ourselves Great Balls, which is great. We also found a bunch of other hell items that could be very useful. I got leftovers from here, so that's very nice, and you can see why, because my entire team are just gonna have leftovers from now on. From there, we're gonna move on and face off against our rival in the route, I think 111 or something like that. Unfortunately, May has a Yveltal, which is, you know, always fun. So my go-to plan here is just to avoid Yveltal's attack while I'm able to Poison Stall it down. It's gonna use Tailwind a lot, and Oblivion Wing, and Silver Wind, all the wings. But eventually we're able to knock him down with my Houndoom, and we're able to get Side Shock on our Duosion. Again, surprised that it lasted this long. From there, we're going to face up against Watson next. Watson's the third gym leader in the game. He's going to start the battle and break the trend of using the same typing that it's supposed to have as a gym leader. It starts off with a Weezing, and I go out into my Weavile. Now, I was pretty sure that it has self-destruct, so I want to be very careful. I go for Home Claws as it goes for Harden and like defense boosting moves. I'm like, this is interesting, and then goes for self-destruct, and I'm like, ah, got it. Almost died. Weavile almost went down, but I lived it pretty nicely. From there, I can switch out into my Politoed. Politoed is a pretty good Pokemon, as I'm able to just Water Spout it. I got Water Spout as a TM, so a lot of my Pokemon actually learns Water Spout, which is very funny. I'm able to two-shot into the Staraptor as I regain my HP with leftovers, which is very nice, as he tries to use Slack Off, but eventually I'm able to knock him out, and his next Pokemon will be a Mega Gengar with Shadow Tag, and I'm like, I don't have the facilities to beat this thing. It does so much damage with Sludge Bomb, I can't switch out, and my Bubble Beam and my Water Spout are not doing enough damage. Unfortunately, it trapped me in here, and Politoed will go down to the Mega Gengar, which is unfortunate. I go out to Houndoom. Houndoom's at least able to knock out the Gengar, but we get the gym badge, but what cause? We lose our Politoed, even though we just got Water Spout too. So annoying. From there, we go back into the route where we face off against a rival with the Yveltal, and we're going to Shiny Hound out here. We saw a Manaphy earlier, so I want to come back here. Manaphy seems like a pretty common encounter, and lucky for us, we found ourselves a shiny Manaphy. Now from there, surprisingly enough, we have enough Ultra Balls to actually catch the Manaphy, so we're definitely going to take that as it goes down to low HP. And I mean, it's almost level 13, so it wasn't too difficult, surprisingly. I just had to stay in with my Weavile. It has Tail Glow, but it only had Bubble, so it wasn't too big of a scare, as we have to catch the Manaphy and then move out. Unfortunately, against this trainer over here, this random trainer, I was just training and just, you know, moving through the game. I beat down the Gabite, and then his next Pokemon will be a Haxorus. I'm like, this thing shouldn't kill me, whatever. I'll just stay in. I'm a Weavile, and it brings out Diamond Storm. How am I supposed to guess Diamond Storm out of everything it has? Diamond Storm is going to kill my Weavile, and I'm like, oh, this is the worst. Oh my god, I was having fun with Weavile. I was a few steps away from going to Fall Over Town and getting Ice Punch for my Weavile, or any ice move at all. But anyways, from there, since Weavile died, we're going to go out into the Ashy route over here, right next to Fall Over Town, and we're going to Shiny Hunt in here. There is Volcanion, which we could get, but unfortunately, we get ourselves a Jinx. I mean, it's not really unfortunate. It's nice to have still. So I'm going to catch myself a Jinx, add it to my team. It's still pretty cool. So we have a Jinx on our team, still full team. From there, we're going to move out, face off against Archie on my Pyre, which doesn't really do anything. It's just a transition slide. We're going to move out and face off against Flannery next. Flannery is the 4th gym leader in the game. We're going to start the battle off against her using my Manaphy. Now, Manaphy obviously has Tail Glow and unfortunately has Mist Ball. So I really don't have any water moves right now. I'm waiting for Surf, the HM. So from there, we have to just Tail Glow up and just slowly beat down the Miss Magius as it goes for Phantom Force and paralyzes me. but Bubble will knock out the Miss Magius as her next Pokemon will be a Skiploom, which I just stayed in. I take a massive Razor Leaf, which is annoying, but eventually I'm able to two-shot into the Skiploom, which, you know, maybe I should have switched out at some point, but I found this interaction very interesting. It heal blocked me, so it actually stopped me from using leftovers. I didn't know that happened. I've never seen that interaction, but I'm able to survive the Leaf Storm pretty easily, and then Miss Ball to knock out the Skiploom, and our final opponent will be an Aurora, which I know this thing can't really knock me out. It went for rollout, so maybe I should have been a little more scared, but I'm going to go for a bubble and one-shot the Aurora as we're able to beat down Flannery and get our 4th gym badge in the game pretty easily. Now from there, we actually bought ability capsules in the Pokemart, which is very cool. Unfortunately, there's nothing really I want except Magic Guard on my Duocean. Everything else has the right ability. I can't get hidden abilities, so I wish ability capsules had that, but from there we're going to face off against Norman next. Norman is the 5th gym leader in the game. We're going to start the battle off against him using my Jinx, just to show off Jinx. We're going to face off against his Fortress, which I was like, this thing's not going to do anything. I go for a Water Spout immediately, and then it knocks him down to a Sturdy. Unfortunately, he's going to go for attack order, and then just kills me. And I'm like, Fortress does not do this much damage. What kind of Fortress does this? I've never seen Fortress one-shot anything in my life. Until then, I must have changed the stat or something, because there's no way, there's absolutely no way Fortress is able to knock out my one-shot something. It's just not happening. But from there, I'm able to go out to my Houndoom. Houndoom luckily has Ember, so it's able to knock out the Fortress for me, but super annoying. His next Pokemon will be a Cobalion. That scared me, so I'm not going to stay in. I'm going to switch out into my Duocean. Duocean is able to Psychic into the Cobalion and two-shot it, and his final Pokemon will be a Rattata. I went from Cobalion to Rattata. But anyways, we're able to one-shot the Rattata and get our 5th gym badge in the game. Get another death on the death counter. Really back-to-back deaths. Anyways, from there, we're going to move out into Route 117, 118, something like that. We're able to shiny hunt for our next Pokemon. And surprisingly, we go into a Horde and look at what's in the Horde. 2 Genesects, 2 Scyther, and a Lickitung. Definitely looking into the Lickitung. So I'm really hoping we get that type of Horde to find a Genesect. But unfortunately, we find ourselves a shiny Gallade. Unfortunately, but that's kind of what we were looking for anyway. So we found ourselves a shiny Gallade. We're going to add it to our team. And now we can move on. So really interesting randomizer we have. From there, we're going to face off against Winona next. Winona is the 6th gym leader in the game. We're going to start the battle off against Winona using my newly Gallade. Gallade is able to go for a Swords Dance against the Whirlipede, as I'm able to survive the Power Whip pretty easily, and then go for a Stagger Cut. Crit it. Did a little overkilling, but we're able to knock out the Whirlipede, as the next Pokemon will be a Sunkern. And from there, I'm just going to knock him out. I just don't even risk it. From there, her next Pokemon will be a Chingling, and unfortunately, this is the only part wrong about the randomizer. I thought I put on Force Evolution at level 30. Maybe I'll untick that, because these are level 42s, and it's a Chingling, and then the next one is a Zweilous. That would have been scary if it was an actual Hydreigon. I got Land's Wrath, which I'm able to just knock out the Zweilous as well. So we're able to beat down Winona pretty easily. I mean, it's pretty fun to use Gallade, I'm not gonna lie. We got 3 Mega Stones in the Pokemart. We just have to get very lucky that we get Gallade. The Pokemart is a whole tangent. The Pokemart reminds me of Elden Ring, if you guys ever played it. If you randomize the merchants, you just get a bunch of cool items just randomly, of course. So it's kind of like the same feeling as that. So that's why I really have a lot of fun playing randomized. Like, once you get done with all the games, you kind of know what to expect. So it's kind of fun just playing through the games without like knowing what to expect, and it's pretty fun to play around it. Speaking of that, look at this look at this Horde encounter or the Team Aqua members. Swampert, Hitmonlee, Stantler, Flabébé, everything, and Dusclops. They're low level, so we're able to one-shot them, but it's just funny to use Pokemon that you wouldn't see just normally. So once we're done with the Team Aqua members there, we're going to move out and face off against Tate and Liza. Tate and Liza are going to be the 7th gym leader in the game. We're going to start the battle off against the Minum and Skorupi. This team, oh my god. Well, anyways, we start the battle off against them using my Houndoom and also my Superior, which you guys haven't actually seen. I just realized that. We're able to one-shot into Skorupi and then just, I don't know, beat down the Minum. I mean, it's not too difficult. We're able to beat down Tate and Liza. Should have put on, next time I do this, I'm definitely going to put on like maximum Pokemon possible. So, you know, we just have the hardest difficulty, because it's really fun. I was kind of bummed out that I didn't really fix the trainers. But from there, we're going to face up against Archie in the cave with Kyogre. We're going to start the battle off against the Snivy using my Houndoom. Snivy, you're seeing a lot of Snivies. We're able to just one-shot the Snivy easily. His next Pokemon will be a Mega Blaziken, which I do have Water Spout for, so that's kind of funny. I'm able to knock out the Blaziken. From there, he's going to switch out into his Druddigon, which I'm going to switch out because, you know, obviously not going to deal with that. We're able to two-shot him with my Reuniclus, and we're able to just move on from there. His next Pokemon will be a Vileplume, which are one-shot, and that'll be the end of Archie, as we're able to clear through Archie. No problems at all. Next up, we're going to face off against the Mega Boss, or the mini boss of the game, the Box Art Legendary Kyogre, which is actually a legendary. We face off against Volcanion. Now, this would be an actual scare if my team wasn't really built for it, but my team is pretty built for this Volcanion, unfortunately. My Manaphy just straight to Wallet, and then from there, I could just go for any move, and I'll two-shot into the Volcanion. Especially since the wild Pokemon, since Kyogre is a wild Pokemon technically, it didn't scale with the modifier, so it's just under level as we're able to two-shot it, and then, you know, save the world. Now from there, we're going to face off against Wallace next. Wallace is the 8th gym leader in the game, and he's not too difficult at all. The difficulty really dropped off at the Norman, unfortunately, but, you know, that's what you get from playing Randomizer. Anyways, we're going to start the battle off against his Mesprit using my Houndoom. I'm really loving using Houndoom, as we're able to just beat down the Mesprit using my Houndoom, using Flamethrower. Finally got that move. And we're going to beat down the Mesprit. His next Pokemon will be a Swalot, which I go out to my Gallade since this thing has Earthquake. We're going to go for a Sword Dance. Ooh, take a lot of damage, but Earthquake will knock out the Swalot, which is nice. His next Pokemon will be a Chimecho, which at least is fully evolved. It almost knocks me out with Synchronize. I don't even know how that moves work, but it almost knocks me out. I'm going to go out to my Dark-type Houndoom and then two-shot into the Chimecho at least. And then his next Pokemon will be a Vanillite. We're going to one-shot it in his next Pokemon, and his final Pokemon will be a Watchog. And we're going to two-shot into him without losing too much HP. We're going to beat down Wallace and move on. We're going to move on into the Victory Road next. And his random trainer in Victory Road has a Mewtwo. And I'm like, oh, okay, you know, that's cool. Level 61 Mewtwo just randomly. Lucky enough, it doesn't kill anything. But, you know, it's scary. These randomizers are scary. From there, we're going to beat down Wally, which isn't too difficult at all. And then move out into the Pokemon League, which we're going to start our Pokemon League challenge against Sydney. Sydney is the first Elite Four member, and he's going to start the battle off against us really strong with an Entei. So we're going to start the battle off against him using my Houndoom. Unfortunately for him, we had Water Spout as a move. We're going to outspeed him. Water Spout will one-shot the Entei, and his next Pokemon will be a Golett. And I'm like, do I really want to use? I guess I have to use Water Spout. One-shot the Golett. His next Pokemon after that will be a Mankey. How do we go from Entei to Mankey and Golett? We have to one-shot the Mankey, obviously. His other Pokemon will be a Plusle, which we two-shot. And his final Pokemon, oh my god. And his final Pokemon will be a Heliolisk, which, I mean, is very weak to my Houndoom. So we have to two-shot into him, and we have to beat down Sydney. Started really good with Entei. Didn't last long. From there, we're going to face off against Phoebe next. Phoebe is the second Elite Four member of the game. We're going to start the battle off against Phoebe's Meow with, obviously, my Gallade. Gallade's able to Sword Dance in front of the Glameow, and then from there, we would take a Play Rough, but Earthquake would knock him out, which Play Rough was kind of scary. Looking enough, I went for an Earthquake. Her next Pokemon will be an Audino, which doesn't Mega Evolve, I'm pretty sure. So I just went for Close Combat to knock out the Audino. Her next Pokemon will be a Mega Sharpedo, so it's already a Mega on her team. Go out into my Superior, which takes a Crunch not too well, but luckily enough, I do outspeed it since Superior is crazy fast. And with the Giga Drain, it doesn't one-shot it, and I go down to red HP because of that, so that's a pretty bad situation. But luckily enough, it's forced to heal, and I still outspeed him, so one more Giga Drain would knock out the Sharpedo. Her next Pokemon will be a Natsu, which surprisingly I have to switch out against because my Superior does not have any other moves. I go out into my Houndoom, which will two-shot into the Natsu, or one-shot, I take it back. And her final Pokemon will be a Simisage, which Houndoom is the MVP, as he's able to Flamethrower and knock out the Simisage. And from there, we're able to beat down Phoebe. Now we're going to move on and face out against Glacia next. Glacia is the third Elite Four member of the game, and she starts the battle off against us using a Prinplup. Out of everything, we start the battle off against her using my Manaphy. We're able to Tail Glow up in front of the Prinplup for free. We're able to one-shot it using Mist Ball, plus, I am +6. From there, she can switch out into a Rayquaza. I'm like, whoa, wait a second. I go for a Mist Ball. It does not one-shot it, even though I'm +6. It goes for an Outrage. I survive it. Not too well, though, so I gotta make sure I knock him out. So we're gonna go for a Surf. Knock out the Rayquaza. Her next Pokemon will be a Kecleon, which I one-shot. And next Pokemon will be, I'm not going to learn Petal Blizzard, but her next Pokemon after that will be a Keldeo. Fortunately for it, I do have a Psychic move in Mist Ball to knock out the Keldeo. And the next Pokemon after that will be a Durant, which Surf one-shot, and we're able to beat down Glacia. Glacia seems like it has the hardest team. It's just unfortunately that Manaphy is also very strong. So from there, we're going to face off against Drake next. Drake is going to be the 4th Elite Four member and the final Elite Four member before the champion. His first Pokemon will be a Girder, which I actually don't remember at all that it was a Girder. We're able to go into my Superior and then 2-shot into him using Mist Ball. And then from there, he's going to switch out into his Krogunk, which obviously goes down to 1 Mist Ball. And then his next Pokemon after that will be a Mega Metagross, which I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'm definitely gonna go into my Renewniclus after putting a Leech Seed on him, and then I'm gonna charm him down. And from there, I can stall him out using my Renewniclus, and then just being careful. I'm able to knock out the Metagross using my Renewniclus and just stalling it out. And his next Pokemon after that, you know what? Super simple. He goes for a Darkrai. Oh, my bad. He goes just for a Darkrai. So I go out into my Gallade. Now, Gallade's actually a 10,000 IQ play because he always use Dark Pulse. If I get flinch, my speed boost, and I outspeed him anyways. If I don't, I just knock him out with close combat. So regardless, Darkrai is going to go down as we're ready to beat down Darkrai, and his final Pokemon will be Crocodile, which it's strange to see, but we have to go out to my Superior and knock him out as we're ready to beat down Drake pretty easily. From there, we can move out and face off against Steven Stone. Steven Stone is the champion of the game, and he does not disappoint. Well, at least his first Pokemon doesn't. He sends out his Origin Form Giratina, and I'm like, oh yeah, that is a problem. I go out into my Superior. It takes a critical hit from Earth Power, which I did nothing. I go for a Leech Seed, and then he's going to go for a Shadow Force immediately. So I went out to my Dark type to gauge the damage. Obviously, not the best play because Houndoom has no defense at all. So I got into my Meganium after that. And Meganium, like I said in the start of the game, it's lasted throughout this because it's so tanky. This is the only time you'll see me praising Meganium. Because I'm able to just stall him out using Poison Gas. Even though I don't get Toxic, I still have a Poison move to put on my Meganium after Poison Powder. We're able to Poison down the Giratina, Leech Seed it, get my HP back with Synthesis and also Leech Seed. So we're able to just stall down the Giratina and knock him out, which is actually a long fight. After that, his next one will be a Fennekin, which I'm like, oh, come on, bro. I go out to my Manaphy to one-shot out using Surf. His next Pokemon after that will be a Malamar, which I decided to stay in and just go for Surfs. As for some reason, he switched out into his Poliwag, which in that turn, I go for a Tail Glow, and then I go for a Mist Ball to knock out the Poliwag. From there, he's going to switch out to his Malamar, which now gets one-shotted. And after that, he's going to go out to his Heatmore, which also gets one-shotted by Surf. And his final Pokemon will be a Kabuto. It's Kabuto. He starts with Origin Form Giratina and goes into Kabuto as his final Pokemon. Is the funniest thing. But we're able to end the battle using my Meganium as my best Pokemon. And we're able to beat down Pokemon Alpha Sapphire using a completely randomizer shiny. I don't know. I gotta figure out a title for this, but it's actually really fun. I was having so much fun playing this. We also face off against a rival. She obviously starts off the same way as the Elite Four. Really good first Pokemon. We beat the Raikou, and then her next few Pokemon are just trash. Like my Houndoom just clears her out. We're able to clear through the game pretty easily, but we still got 3 deaths. You know, at the Norman, downhill from the difficulty for some reason, but we're able to secure our wins pretty easily. And obviously the leftovers really help us because it just regain HP constantly, so that's really fun to have. But anyways, that'll be it for me today. I hope you guys all enjoyed this randomizer video. If you guys can, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me. If you guys want to see more of this, just let me know in the comments. Of course, I was working on this for a little bit now, and I'm finally able to get it out to you, so thank you so much for supporting me. Anyways, my name's been Alpha. Hope you guys all have a great day, and I'm out. Peace.